Hey, I'm Tony Scott, and recently a singer named Lydia Caesar came across my radar, and I think she's great. I recently talked to her about her new song called St. Louis, which is kind of about St. Louis. I'll let her explain it to you, and I'll link you to the video down below. I hope you enjoy the conversation. How does someone from Hollis, Queens come up with somebody named St. Louis?
Well, the song is actually about somebody that comes from St. Louis.
Oh, so you just call him St. Louis then?
Well, yeah, it's basically thanking St. Louis for producing such an amazing individual.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, right? Because I saw the video, and at the end, I just knew for sure at the end he was the door opened because you switched the angle on the video, and I just knew there was going to be a woman standing there, and it was going to be all kinds of drama and stuff like that. I was like, but when he opened the door, I was like, finally a winner, yes!
Wow!
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So that's really off the hook. So how did St. Louis come to you though? Just the word St. Louis. I mean, how did you think to have him in St. Louis? You could have had him in Chicago, Philly. You could have had him in Brooklyn.
Right. Well, it's actually kind of from an actual person, a real life story. Somebody that I actually know who is from St. Louis that inspired the song.
Oh, is he still here? Is he still here?
No.
No, he's not? Okay, all right, well,
No.
Okay. Did you actually have a relationship with him?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I won't ask no more. I'm making you uncomfortable, so I won't ask you anymore. So I was like, wow. So I was reading that you have a very large church background in your life.
Yeah, actually, my father is a minister, pastor, bishop of a church called Bethel Gospel Tabernacle here in Queens. His father founded the church, and so I grew up in church my whole life. It's still very much a part of my life.
I got you. Okay, so how were you able to explain to them that you were going to do secular music? Then was it an issue at all?
I would say no.
No,
because my music is of great content. It speaks about love and relationships and situations. It's nothing that will bring shame to me or my beliefs or my family. So it was never an issue because I'm an adult, first of all.
Right.
Even if it was, we just have to deal with it.
Right. Well, but it is your family, though.
Yeah, of course. And they're very understanding and 100% supportive of what I do because there's nothing wrong with it. It's not like I'm out here doing anything that's going to cause shame to them or even to myself. So
will you ever do a sexually suggestive song? Will that ever happen? Will that ever come from Lydia's mouth?
You ask the tough question.
I'm just curious, because I mean it's very interesting how someone with such a spiritual background, your father a huge member of the church, your grandfather founded the church.
Yeah.
And you are singing secular music, and every time we hear, I mean, there've been movies written about this, plays done about how so it's been drama and stuff like that.
It is. It's a cliche story, But would I ever do a sexually suggestive song? I guess yes, I would, because I don't think there's anything wrong with sex.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. I've heard that, not about you. I'm just saying I've heard sex is okay.
Yeah, That's right.
Yeah, So you were on 106 in Park. That had to be like really cool.
Surreal. Oh my goodness. Especially as an independent artist, for them to, approve of my video and think that it was on the level of all the artists that they show was huge for me. Such a big accomplishment. So, I'm really excited about where things are heading.
So when did you know? By the way, for those who don't, we're talking with Lydia Caesar, who has a song called St. Louis, isn't about St. Louis, but it's about a guy from St. Louis who she really feels, and we'll put a link to the video below so you can watch it and check it out and stuff. But as far as like you singing, when did you know that you could actually sing?
I learned that I had a voice at a really young age. I was like 5, and I would sing, for different events at church and stuff, and it was fun, but I was shy. It was scary, and I would say it really hit me when I was in 3rd grade. We did this play, Joseph and the Technicolor Coat. It was like on Broadway, and I auditioned for it, and they cast me as the part of Joseph because no one else in the school could sing,
right,
except for me, and it was the lead part. and I was I'm a girl, but
Right.
Joseph is a guy, so I dressed like a guy, and I carried the whole show. That's when I really knew that I had a gift. I was like 8.
So did you have to sing in a man voice or anything like?
No,
No,
I
no?
used I used my regular voice.
Okay.
'Cause I was young, but
Yeah.
so even the little boys had high pitched voices.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Yeah, yeah. Mine didn't change until a week ago, so I understand what you're saying. So it's one of those things. But wow. Okay. So now you're a young woman, and you've probably well, I was always told in this business you're always paying your dues.
Yeah.
So what kind of jobs have you had?
Oh man, I've worked in the restaurant industry, of course. I've waited many tables. I worked at Bloomingdale's. That was probably one of my favorite jobs during college. I worked at a theater. I did lighting for a theater in Queens called York College, and it's so cool because actually in February, I headlined a concert at York College.
Oh, good for you.
The same place where I worked for a few years doing lighting and stuff for other people. I got to headline my own show there. So
Well, that had to feel like a home run, huh?
yeah, it was
Yeah, really cool.
to be back there, but on the stage this time.
Yeah,
So.
very nice. So you've like opened for people like Trey Songz and some other name people, right?
Yeah, Trey Songz, Melanie Fiona, Robin Thicke, Brandy. I've been really blessed. I was a part of a show at ABC Studios here in the city, and Trey Songz and Robin Thicke were all a part of it. And then I opened for Melanie Fiona at an event in Maryland. Brandy was at another event here in the city. So, I've been, just trying to make a name for myself.
Okay, we're talking with Lydia Caesar. Now, I'm not telling you nothing you don't know. You're a good-looking woman. Have you ever been like early in your career, like because it's perceived as a man's business? Has someone ever tried to take advantage of the fact that you're a good-looking woman, saying, this can happen if you can do this, this, and this?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it happens all the time, and that's why you have to have a buffer. I think it's important to have somebody who's in between the world, the music world, and you, because there are a lot of not everybody. There's a lot of great guys in the industry, but there are a lot of snakes who want what they want, and they're not going to help you if you don't help them.
I understand. Yeah, I don't like people like that. I don't like people like that. So,
Me neither. Not fair.
And Lord knows they ain't hitting on me. So, but let me ask you, if it wasn't singing, what kind of career do you think? What path would you have chosen?
I would have tried to get into fashion. I'm very much into fashion even still. I make accessories and I sell them.
Okay. Now, what kind of man do you like? Well, yeah.
Physically, or I love dreads. I love height. You don't have to be really.
Well,
tall.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
Okay.
So it's definitely taller than me.
Okay.
I need somebody who has a really great smile, nice teeth, and that's really it.
Okay.
Those are like my things. I'm not set to anything specific. I wouldn't like turn somebody away if they were like had low hair. I've dated guys with low hair before, but generally speaking, those are the things that like that really gets a rise out of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go, right there. Lydia Caesar has a song out called St. Louis, and it's about a guy from St. Louis. So the guy in the video, he's not the guy though, is he? For real?
No, the guy in the video is from Queens. We shot the video in Queens.
Okay.
So funny because I did a show in St. Louis 2 months ago, and people were like, "Oh, I saw the video," and they were asking me if I was over on some street in St. Louis, and I was like, "No." They thought I was in, I think, Forest Park or
Forest Park. That's like our big park here in St. Louis. Yeah,
and I was in Prospect Park in Brooklyn.
well, you know what? If you ever I know you will shoot another video, you probably want to think about Forest Park. It's a beautiful park.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a very lovely park. So,
well, I'll make sure I visit it while I'm there.
Well, there you go. Yeah, and you got to go by Sweetie Pies.
Oh, I know. I've seen the show. I have to go by Sweetie Pies.
Yeah. So, well, it's good talking to you. Is there anything else you want people to know about you?
Yes. I have an album. St. Louis is on my debut album called Caesar. It's on iTunes. Just search Lydia Caesar. The album's called Caesar. And I'll be on Fox News 2 on on Monday.
Monday, yeah. Okay.
There in St. Louis, which is so exciting. I'll be performing St. Louis live, so you'll get to see and hear me. And yeah, that's it. My website is LydiaCaesarMusic.com. That's all.
I'll put the link to it down below.
Awesome.
All right. Lydia, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you. This is awesome.